I don't think you actually ever told me about the Tesla. You never told me about it. Like you never told me what you liked about it, nothing like that. Actually, had this been an older episode of the Shant and Ari podcast, I would have asked you which model Tesla did you get? However, we're not doing that anymore. We are live, episode number 83 of the Shant and Ari podcast. Shant, what's going on, big guy?
Not much. Yeah, I've had the Tesla for 3 months, 4 months now, and we've literally, you being a car guy, never talked about it. And I just came out. I was like, oh, I'm loving the Tesla.
Have you
You
played?
don't. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you played video games on it? Have you
No,
used the steering wheel as the video game controller?
I tried once. It wasn't too successful, but I do watch Netflix a lot.
Do you watch it while you're driving?
No, you can't. It's more like in between showings and, like gotta wait. So it's like, all right, cool. I'll just hop on.
What else do you find yourself doing in the Tesla? How's the automatic or roughly semi-automatic driving, the semi-autonomous driving that it does?
So I didn't get the full self-driving, right? Just didn't feel like it was worth it. But just a regular autopilot, it's really intuitive, man. I know a lot of cars have it where it'll stay in your lane and it'll slow down, go fast if cars are in front of you, but it just feels so much more intuitive. Just now when I drive my wife's car, I kind of don't like driving gas vehicles. It just feels weird.
What was strange? I was talking to one of my friends earlier today. We were talking about electric cars, and I was telling him what my actual thoughts are. Like my thoughts on electric cars are changing constantly, man. Like
Because you were not a fan at first.
I'm not, and I'll be honest. I want to like electric cars. And I really, really want to like electric sports cars because they're getting very, very fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
Tesla's got that Roadster that's like 0 to 60 in like under 2 seconds. They got the Model S Plaid, which I think does it under 2 seconds. Just stupid numbers, stupid numbers.
So fast, bro. Like
What do
I
you
have
think
this.
about that? What do you think about going 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds?
So mine is 0 to 60 in like 4.9 or 5 seconds. And I have like the slowest, the cheapest Tesla possible. The standard Model 3, right? And it's freaking fast, man.
They're on
Like,
pace to take the number one luxury car crown. They're
have you
about to
seen the
hit Ford
Lucids?
and
The
BMW.
Lucids are pretty sick too.
You know, I haven't actually done a lot of like looking into Lucid, but I did see that they, um, car and driver, I forget, tested like a bunch of cars, and they said I think that their favorite electric car was that one. Because they got like a sedan that's like 125 or something like that,
Mhm.
$140,000. That's just like absurd. But I've been getting into electric more lately because a lot of my new content it has to revolve around electric because it's getting so much more popular. All these brands have are becoming more electric friendly. Um, and I think a lot of them have pledged to go fully electric in the next
Yeah,
like 10
yeah.
years.
It's super. It's so convenient, man.
Tell me about
Just
charging it.
I charge at home. I thought I got the lowest range, right? I have like 250-mile range. Um, and I thought it was not going to be enough, but it's been fine. I've never been like, oh shit, I have to pull over and charge somewhere. So I charge at home every night. Every night I'm charging at home.
Do you have the fast charger, or are you just using just a
Yeah,
regular plug-in? You're using the
yeah,
fast one?
yeah.
And did you have to get somebody to come? Like, put it this way: when we had our electric car, we had a smart car. It took like 10 hours to charge, but it gave us like 65, 70 miles. Bro, the thing was
That's it.
tiny. It was tiny though. It was maybe like a third of the size of your car.
I know. I remember. I remember your car. That little little smart car.
and it was
Only 60-mile
fast.
range.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like let me give you an example. When you turn on your AC in the Tesla, does the range drop substantially?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
what are
you
we
feel it.
talking?
I've never like noticed like it goes from like 250 to 200 or anything like that. Like driving 10 miles, it's pretty close. It's like driving a gas vehicle, bro. It's if you pin it more, the gas goes. If you have the AC blasting, your gas goes faster. It's literally pretty similar. Nothing I've noticed where it's like it's insane. The charging, I get about 25 or 30 miles an hour charging at my house. Um,
25 to
so
30 miles an hour. All this lingo, like I'm having a hard time automatically understanding. But anyway, so um, funny, Shant, you sent me a podcast yesterday, the PBD podcast. I kind of wanted to touch on podcasts in this episode. I've been finding myself listening to a couple different ones. One of them is called the Mind Pump podcast.
mind pump.
Yeah, it's like a bodybuilding slash. They talk about like current events and stuff like that. But um, tell me a little bit because you're a big fan of Patrick Bet David, and you were a big fan of Gary Vee. Can you tell me a little bit about what you find? Because I know that you love referencing or you love talking about Gary Vee before, and you got me into Gary Vee. But now you're a big PBD guy, Patrick Bet David, and I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that he's half Armenian.
No, it helps, but so Gary Vee is there's nothing wrong with Gary Vee. It's just his message, which is it's good, right? Because his message is the same. It doesn't like it's been the same for the past 5 years. People are like, oh, it's always the same message, but he's like, yeah, because that's all I do. So I'm just going to talk about that. So I kind of grew out of it. Kind of gets boring after a while, right? So PPD podcast, and I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, but Joe Rogan podcast, some of them are so long, man. They're like 3 hours. Um,
I what was it, that episode, the Jordan Peterson one? I'm a big fan of Jordan Peterson,
yeah.
and I saw that he was on there for like 4 hours. I'm like, these Joe Rogan podcast episodes are fucking 4 hours. The fuck? What do you need a week to listen to it?
Jordan Peterson is going to be on PBD podcast tomorrow, actually. So
Ooh,
that'll be good. So the PBD podcast is different. And I like Joe Rogan too, because it's not about business for the most part. It's more just current events, what's going on, right? And why I like Joe Rogan, and so they're a little bit different. Joe Rogan just gets people on. And I know they're trying to boycott Joe Rogan because no one's ever listened to
yeah.
his
What is
podcast.
the deal with that? Why are they
So
trying so hard? Is it because of his stance on vaccines and stuff like that?
no, he talks about it very openly, and the problem is no one. So he's had people on, like the guy Dr. Malone, who's even though he's vaccinated, he's just had different views about the shot, right? And but what he does is he brings people on, and he just asks questions. He just wants to get information, right? He's had pro-vaccine people on too, who are like, "Hey, you need to get it," and he's like, "Cool, like tell me why, like what's going on, like break it down." So he gets both sides, and he just likes to listen and ask questions.
I noticed that about him. He loves asking like
Yeah,
these in-depth questions. Like he's
yeah, no,
very, very like he has no problem um just diving into a subject for fucking an
into
hour.
someone. Yeah, and he doesn't even talk about himself ever. Like you'd be like, I know nothing about him besides he likes to
How did he
work
get so
out.
popular?
I don't
Who the
know.
fuck is he?
He calls UFC fights. It's fucking weird.
That's how he started off. He was
Well, he's a comedian. He was a comedian, and he calls the UFC fights. He's big into UFC. So the difference with PBD, what I like is he'll bring someone on, whether they're pro his argument, against his argument, and he just questions, like he rips, like he'll go into the like he'll challenge the thought, right? Like he had the guy who he agrees with a lot. You've heard about the Project Veritas guy.
no. Is it
Okay.
something that's gonna get us in trouble on YouTube or Are we safe with that one?
So so just in general, like I'm not going to explain to you who he is or what he does. This podcast is not sponsored by um, that page, but he shares the same beliefs as that guy, right? But he was challenging him a lot. He's like, so who do you support? Like, are you left leaning? Are you He's like, I'm neither leaning. He's like, I'm for the truth. So he's like, so why were you at a Trump rally with a Trump flag and you were speaking? He's like, so that tells me you're right on the right side of the politics. And he was just kind of like taken aback a little bit, like, hey, and he just kept pushing it. So that's what I like about him. He kind of he doesn't just, it's not a circle jerk of like everyone agreeing, how it should be. And he just kind of talks about, and he challenges people, and I like it. And they always talk about various topics, like the one I sent you yesterday about distractions, right? And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, and how we're distracted by our phones.
You realize how common of a subject it's becoming? This whole idea of just like people are catching on, and I think that even the executives and like the people that developed a lot of these platforms are like coming forward and saying like, dude, like we didn't realize we were gonna go this far, and like
Yeah, they didn't this is
obviously.
not something they were like, they didn't do this for this reason.
Hmm. So Shant, you've always been a little bit more centered and like a little bit more relaxed than I have. I'm always sort of, jumpy and this and that. I feel like okay, if we're talking about who who social media who not just so by the way, not even social media. So like listen, I'll start getting alerts by like the most random things. My friends will send something in the group chat. I'll have the group
Mhm.
chat muted, but that person
Yep.
will use my name. Ari, like it's just the distractions are endless
Yeah, you're in
nowadays.
the group chat. Mine is muted too, but then the friends will text you on the side, like, "Hey, bro, you come, like, you see what's going on?" You're like,
This
fuck.
person has notification silent. Let them know anyway. Like it's just become. It's not even social media anymore, bro. It really isn't. It's just a myriad of ways that we can become distracted.
Yeah,
And funny, when you were talking about the PBD and Joe Rogan podcast, I was literally just scrolling through Hinge while we were talking.
what's Hinge?
It's another dating app. It's like Bumble.
Yeah,
So
just like,
it just doesn't stop, bro. You gotta have something, some sort of stimulation.
so you feel, because I think we briefly talked about it. You feel the phones are basically fucking us, right?
Phones are fucking us big time, bro. And it's not like, bro, listen, I have just something just to put it into perspective, and let's dive a little bit deeper as to why. It's not a willpower issue. But let me explain to you how we've become so accustomed now to sharing shit and consuming shit. So much so that me and you have a podcast where we are sharing our thoughts to be consumed by people that know us as opposed to talking to us. So the idea that me and you have a podcast and we're doing it for the sake of, people listening to it and whatnot has just added to the dozens and dozens of layers of things that we're constantly checking for or constantly being alerted of. And it's not even so much that like, oh, social media is distracting. It's not just social media. It's the feeling that I'm missing something.
Mm.
Something is constantly happening that I need to check whether or not if I'm missing it or whatnot. So imagine this. Usually people, and I want to dive into the PBD podcast and what they had to say about distractions and um, how efficient we actually are being now. But basically, you could be doing the smallest, most mundane task. Say you went to go and take a piss, and you broke your train of thought. You went 2 minutes. I'm gonna go take a piss. I'm gonna be right back. You be right back. All of a sudden, now you're on your phone for 5 minutes, and you forget what important thing you had to do, and now another thing goes off that stops your productivity again. This has filled in any dead space with so much useless garbage that we've gotten addicted to constantly fueling
Doing
dead
something. Yeah.
spots. Right.
Yeah. So a couple of things about that. That's you threw a lot out there, right? And obviously we are not experts in this field, right? I think we always have to say that, right? Because the past few episodes we've talked about health, working out, eating. Um, you know, we've done one day of research on this, so just cut us some slack
Yeah, I listened to an audiobook for a couple of minutes and just couldn't.
while we were scrolling Instagram. So it's funny because my mom and dad always ask me to do something, right? Like, hey, don't forget, do this tomorrow or this week. Always forget, right? And they're like, are you like our age? You're always forgetting stuff. And I'm like, do you guys understand? Like, we're not in the 1950s when you guys were 30 and you guys had nothing but just to like go down to the neighborhood coffee shop, just hang out there all day, right? We are filled with thousands and thousands of things hitting us every minute. I'm not going to remember what you told me yesterday. It's not going to happen.
Which I have a question for you. How are you remembering things now? You just write it in your calendar, or like you have a
Yeah.
thing that reminds you? Like
Yeah. It's my,
I had to write down here. I wrote down something absurd in my remind me list. Oh, yeah. So I have to tell myself, just for the sake of not being 5 to 10 minutes late, that we have the podcast today.
yep.
And then I have one that says get an inspection sticker. And it's just there, and I haven't actually done it yet.
Yeah. Look, um, hang on. Can you wait a minute? Podcast right there. It's in the calendar. Everything has to be in my calendar. If I don't put it in there, it is
You're
not going to
lost.
happen.
You're just scrolling Instagram again for no reason. Bro, so anyway, long story short, this podcast, and actually let me pull it up so if you guys want to reference, this guy got on the Patrick Bet David podcast, and he was talking about how inefficient and how slow we've become because of phones. Like phones, to your argument, Sean, phones have been helping us for like 15 years now. Do more than just call and text. We've been able to do a bunch of different things. Take pictures, send it to somebody. That was like I think the first most useful thing that a phone
You
did
know,
besides.
and I know you heard this, but for everyone listening, which this one, like they kind of glossed over, sorry to cut you off, but um, they glossed over this pretty quickly. And I wanted to like, it kind of hit me so hard. The technology NASA was using when we landed someone on the moon, the technology, NASA, think about it, right? Our phones are 10 times, 100 times more technologically advanced. Our fucking iPhone, bro.
There's so much power in it, and in essence, we can use it to do so many great things. And I've actually used my phone to do some very impressive work in the past. For like the first year and a half, I was using it to launch my YouTube career forward, just literally just from my phone, between editing the video, between promoting it, just everything. I was running my consulting business just from my phone while I was at the restaurant. But I can tell you off the bat, reason number one, without turning this into a top five, and maybe if you want to start thinking about your reasons, but this is my biggest one. You start to take on much more because you're able to access the information, you're able to connect with the proper person, you're able to, you're able to do more. However, because you're taking on more, you are now trying to multitask, and typically multitasking in any sort of industry that involves like you need to multitask. Okay, yeah, do it with one very important task and one very, very mundane, repetitive task. Not one very, very important task, another very, very important task, and something that seems mundane to you, like maybe raising a child.
So they talked about this on the. He said the average adult, our attention span. So if we have a project, if we're at work and we're going to do a project, right? Like I have a project at work I'm going to do. The longest attention span without us being distracted, we could go is 3 minutes.
Well, do you have any idea what it was before?
I don't know. I wonder if he didn't mention it, but he did mention about 10 years ago. You know how many times a day we used to touch our phone?
I think it was something like 2000 or something like that.
Well, no, 50 a day. This was 10 years ago. Now it's 2,500 times a day we're touching our phone. When I heard that, I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
disgusting.
Disgusting. You want to wipe down your phone. So the biggest thing for me was while I was running BAC, while I was making videos, and while I was at the restaurant, the number one thing, and I wasn't nearly as distracted on my phone from like Insta or Facebook then that I am now. Now it's become a barrage of suggested videos and pictures and all this stuff that's just keeping me like, oh wow, wow, okay, wow.
Well, their whole job, right? So like these Facebook and stuff, they make more money, right? Or Instagram, the longer you're scrolling.
For sure, because they keep on feeding me. Like I fucked up big time. So I was supposed to tell you my biggest reason for why I don't like it. But anyway, I'm gonna come right back to that. I fucked up big time, and I Googled best gym apparel. Big mistake.
What did you get?
I got stories of the best gym apparel. I'm scrolling through it. It's showing me all different websites I got funny gym t-shirts. I got tight fitting. I got tank tops that like make you, it was
Do
just
you ever
nonstop.
do you ever end up buying anything?
It's this close. This close to
Has
making the purchase.
have these ads ever gotten you to buy
Oh
anything?
yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Big
Okay.
time. I just didn't want to be wearing what I bought to the gym, and like some other guy shows up like, you too, huh? Like, but anyway, so the thing that irks me the most about what this has done to me is that it's made me become super irritable because I'm constantly doing something on my phone. I constantly have a task on my phone. Like my dad will sometimes ask me to do something marketing or something related to the business, and I'll be doing work, like not requiring any major brain power. I'll still be busy doing something, and I'll be trying to take care of something else that requires brain power. And God forbid you come up to me to try and have like a simple conversation, like, "Oh, yeah, snow is crazy," and I'm just like, "Is this important?"
Your mind is like there, right? It's like
Yeah, and I get distracted, and all of a sudden, kebab's burning, and then I get logged out or timed out, and I just like, tell me if this happens to you. Like, you're just trying to take care of something, but like somebody will come up just to say hi, like, how's your day going? And you're just like, what the fuck do you want, man? So I was this close to getting it done, and
yeah.
there's just
Uh,
too much getting bitten off lately.
yeah, it's definitely a challenge, right? And I think we all get caught up. I have my moments where I'm stuck in my phone like 24/7,
I
right?
feel like it's worse for you guys, for people in the real estate industry, because you're probably texting clients nonstop. Oh, let me pull over, write up an offer. Oh, let me write up the offer while I'm driving. Oh, let me see if this Tesla can drive itself while I'm writing up an offer. You guys are fucked.
Yeah, and it's like people want answers right away, right? And then I have agents that call me all day. They text me all day about, something happened, this, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like that. And then it's like sometimes you just want to just watch stupid shit because it's just so much of like
There's so much
nonstop.
of it now that everybody is a content creator.
It's crazy. And then so it's funny because Betty always like says, "Oh, put your phone away, put your phone away," because like I don't want to be that guy when I'm home. I want to have I don't want to be that dude. So she's always having to remind me. Like the other day, like actually the other morning, I was with Leo in the morning. He's just getting ready, getting his day started. We have Toy Story on. He loves Toy Story. I watch it every day. And I'm on my phone. And when he sees Buzz Lightyear, he like does the thing, like with Buzz Lightyear. And I'm on my phone. He comes and hits my phone to
Yeah.
like enough. Like,
Yeah.
look at me. Just hits it. And then I'm like, okay. And then he's just like, okay. He'll hit my phone, like, stop.
Out of
Enough.
fucking boy.
And so I have to be careful because I don't want to be just on my phone when he's around, because then it's just that's how he's gonna remember me. So it's tough, but I think this is such a beautiful thing though, if we use it correctly, right? Because we have to be disciplined enough because this is like the most powerful tool right now. There is no more powerful tool than this.
What do you think that you use your phone the most for in terms of productivity?
Besides like fantasy basketball and like making, yeah.
I mean, if you consider that productivity, sure. But besides that, what do you think? Because I'll tell you exactly about my issue with productivity now. And yeah, so you tell me. So what do you think would you say is the number one way your phone is actually helping you right now? And obviously why? Like what task, what area of your day to day?
So besides social media and posting stuff, which helps your business, right? Probably the most important thing is probably my calendar. I don't know if that's where you were going with it, but um,
So
and and email. Actually, no, email is probably the most important thing. The because I have what 5 email accounts that I'm monitoring.
so do you think that because you use the calendar and you use the email, it obviously opens you up so you're a lot more mobile. You can now handle more things while you're on the go. Do
Yeah,
you
that and then like okay, you have that right, and then you could literally listen to a book, right? You could literally um, take professional quality pictures and videos, right? You could literally anything. So I think the most powerful thing is like a thought comes in our mind and it's a question. It's like, shit, can I feed my baby this right now? Like, is this going to get them sick? Right? Google 2 seconds later. Okay, it's good. Before you have to call someone, fucking encyclopedia. You got to pull up which version, the letter, pull
leave
it
a
up.
voicemail for the doctor? Call
Yeah,
your
leave a
parents.
voicemail, call your parents. Hey, do you think you could feed this? Well, I think 30 years ago we fed you that once and you were fine. So it's like right now, the information, that's probably where I should have went with it. Information is so accessible
The
within
access to the
seconds.
information is the biggest.
You could, and so this is the part, right? Where it's like someone wants to do something. For instance, we're talking about information. Someone says, I want to invest in real estate. I have no cash. Well, you can invest in real estate with no cash. Oh, I don't know how to do it. information is right here. You can find out in 10 minutes. So if you really want to make it happen, everyone in America has the same access and is to the information. It's all who is going to do what with it.
Okay. So now let me rebut.
Okay.
Yes, having that information is very, very good. It's amazing to have. It's almost dangerous because you're constantly putting yourself in a situation where you're relying on that for information. Let me give you another example. So I'm a huge not just podcast, but audiobook guy, right? Like actually, I'll tell you this flat out. Audiobooks saved my ass big time for the last 2 years. Just the sheer amount of information that I've consumed, I feel like I got a fucking PhD just
Yeah.
overall. So with that being said, it's also made me very highly antisocial at work and quite possibly beyond work, because now I'm just wrapped up in this audiobook, just sitting down and just listening, and just just my attention is just. And we didn't used to consume information like this. It was never like this. We were always so receptive to what was around us, and we were never just, I'm listening to this hey, sorry, what were you saying? You
Like,
know,
just stop.
I feel bad. I feel bad for like my coworkers. My dad will come in and like start talking to me. I'll be like, sorry, what'd you say? And he'll be like, when are you not on that? Like, when are you not on your fucking AirPods?
So to rebut that, and I agree with you, right? Our attention has gone. But if you didn't have that, do you think you would have gotten so much smarter in 2 years?
No, fuck no. But would I have gotten this bad at just having normal conversations in 2 years? Definitely not. Bro, I used to
No,
be way
so
more social than this.
yeah, um, you were definitely more social, right? But the one thing I'll say, man, yes, this stuff has gotten us more distracted, but I feel most people, if they're gonna be distracted by this, they're gonna be distracted by anything, right? So, for instance, the television was supposed to make the world just crumble because people are watching television 10 hours a day, right? Our focus was just the television. The television is the devil. Then video games. Oh, video games are the devil. It's going to like crush us. Now it's the phone. The phone's too much attention in the phone. I think us inherently, unless we're really busy or unless we're really doing something, when we are bored, we want our attention somewhere. We're not just going to sit there and just think, right? We should, but we're not. So our attention is going to be taken, I think, no matter what. It's where's your attention going? Is it for good or is it just entertainment and you're just wasting your brain cells, right? Some entertainment is good, right? You need that. But if it's 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day of just simply entertainment, your attention is just being wasted. But if your attention is going to somewhere productive, I think it's a great thing. I just think it's a great thing.
Listen, I shouldn't be. I'm no one to complain right now because
I know.
a lot of my income comes from you paying attention to my videos and an ad being served at some point or another, and you clicking through links, and your lead getting sold. So it's kind of like a weird position to be in, to be this critical of something that pays me like decently. But really, Shant, man, like I'm at the point where I'm considering leaving my phone at home.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not saying shut off all social. It's not even that. I don't even mind social media. I wish actually we're going backwards now. We're going opposite. Before, people would post more. People would put up more posts on their Instagrams. Now nobody wants to post anymore. Why? Because everything that they could possibly post has become mundane. Imagine scrolling through your Instagram, right? And you got, all that's nice. They went to Aruba, really nice. And then right underneath the Aruba picture is like a professional picture of Aruba. Go down, beautiful Turks and Caicos. You got some guy who posted his fucking baseball card collection. Okay, great. Like, it's just the regular posts are just now they're just stupid.
Don't you feel, and I feel this, right? And I think it just becomes a habit, to me at least, where people's posts have just been like desensitized to me. So like I'll just be scrolling through, I'll see a post you made, I won't even look at it. Like I'll look at it, but it won't register in my mind. And then
Because it's
I'll
not
like
cool
it.
enough.
It's like, no, I'll like it, keep going. Like Betty will be like, "Oh, your cousin had a baby." I was like, "Oh, really? Who?" She tells me, I'm not going to say names. And then I'm just like, "Oh, I didn't know that." She's like, "You like the picture?" I was like, "I have no fucking clue. Like what happened?" Literally our cousins.
That's
And
fucked up. Yeah, it's
I'm
fucked.
sure you can put two and two together. Happens all the time. She's like, "Oh, your friend just had the baby." Oh, who? Okay. She's
And
like,
this is how we're sharing very, very important news now. I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, dude, people are literally sharing life altering events in their like achievements and such. This is how you find out. Like, oh, I didn't know that you had a kid, or oh, I didn't know you graduated.
yeah,
Oh, well, I posted it. Didn't you see? Did you have a fucking Facebook Live birthday party? That like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like the. There's just so much shit being posted, and you got to make sure that you were on that day, and you left a comment saying congratulations, and not actually see the person or anything. It just, I'm telling you, bro, it's become a point where the shit that we are seeing that is being posted by people doesn't even come close to the shit that we want to see on the feed. But then we get pissed off. It's like, dude, I feel like I'm so disconnected because I'm not even seeing posts from my friends anymore. And I'm hardly seeing them, period, because of fucking quarantine. I'm losing my shit, dude. I've been begging my friends to hang out lately because like I need the human interaction. Like I don't even have customers picking up food anymore. It's all Grubhub, DoorDash drivers.
well, that's the one thing. I mean, see, we didn't experience that here, right? It was so crazy because I've my friends from New York, New Jersey, they talked about this. They're like, dude, we're kind of like feeling a little depressed. Like no one wants to do anything. We're just at home. We're not getting together like we used to. Here, I'm like, dude, we've been fucking partying since
You
the
guys got
fourth.
sunlight. You guys got fucking good weather.
But we were open too, right? So like once a long time shit was shut down for you guys, you got used to it. Now people don't want to go out. People don't, just got used to being in solitary confinement. Confinement, yeah, confinement.
Yeah.
And us, we're just like, yeah. I mean, when you came here, you were like, Sako was like, your brother was like, dude, what the fuck is going on here?
Nobody was wearing a mask. It was a shit show. Actually, to be honest, we came, I think, at the height of the numbers going up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Specifically in Arizona, I think that you guys were starting to like kind of take it seriously. So like the nightclubs weren't open, but the bars were, and you had to wear a mask to get in, but nobody wore the mask to get in because you didn't need it to sit down. Strange, but yeah, you
We're,
guys have not been taking. All right, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but you guys are a lot more sociable. You guys are a lot more social
yep.
than Boston and New York. And bro, if you go into Cambridge, man, Cambridge, we're one city over from Cambridge.
Yeah, yeah.
Cambridge's restaurant industry has like before. Let's just say it's at like 25% of normal operation and capacity. So many restaurants have shut down because They don't do takeout. It's all sitting.
It's like the vibe, right? It was the vibe, right? It was like the whole point of that restaurant was just the social life, right?
Yeah, and that doesn't really exist in these cities anymore. Plus, you don't really see anybody in these cities. There's no hustle and bustle. There's no movement. Everybody's at home. Then, on top of it, we're having a hard time staffing. Nobody wants to work. I don't know
That's a
where they're getting money from.
I don't know. I've gone to a few places, Betty, too. Like, sorry, we're closed today. We don't have enough staff.
Starbucks near us closes at 2 now because they got to shift their employees around. What the fuck is going on?
People just didn't want to leave the house, I guess, bro. Like, um,
I'm just so sorry. This is hurting my head. I'm just so confused at like, is this a bad dream? It's like a really weird dream. It's like a nightmare almost.
and
Like
then I
so
don't know if it's like
weird.
this by you guys. So I go to Trader Joe's, Sprouts. There's nothing.
The shelves are empty. You're saying?
Yeah.
I noticed that the other day. I went into Trader Joe's and like the meat section, the only thing that was available was like red meat because everybody at Trader Joe's hates meat, and like the red meat section was full, but nothing else was. Like so I picked
That's
up
so
some
funny.
some beef, and that was that. But I noticed that like everything was empty.
Yeah, it started happening here around like Christmas time, like the holidays. And then I was just telling Betty, oh, it's the holidays. We'd go, there's nothing there. I think it's just the holidays, probably, people are overstocking. Then a week later, 2 weeks later, still to this day, I'm just like, dude, there's nothing.
Yeah, where's your guys' inventory?
Like, oh, cool, that freaking asparagus that's been there for 3 weeks is still there, but everything else is,
Rotting.
yeah, it's amazing. And they just, I just thought it was an over here thing. I don't know. It was like that everywhere, but I was like, there's too many people moving here. There's not enough food. Like, I don't know what's going on. And it's just like, so no one's working. There's no like stuff, obviously first world problems, right? Like I'm not complaining. Like we have it terrible. It's just like, what's going on?
There's
I
really
don't care about gas prices. I have a Tesla. Really care less
and there's really no socializing going on
by you guys.
social media. So I'm just sort of wondering what are people going through? Um, what is their goal right now? Like sort of just curious. Like my goal right now is the same as it was, I guess, like 3 or 4 years ago. Develop my business. Um, meet a good girl. Hopefully settle down soon. But like I'm not really forcing the issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well,
like that's my
so
goal. Like, what are people like? Aren't we in pretty much the same camp with guys my age that aren't married yet? Like, I got friends that have kids now, but like they're using this as an excuse to just stay home and just
yeah, yeah.
give extra attention to their kids as opposed to like taking them to the maybe I don't even think they are instead of like taking them to the park.
Yeah, I mean, we take Leo's at the park every day, park, mall, just somewhere, right? So I think a lot of people are getting depressed, right? Depression is getting huge now, right? I'm not a mental health expert, but it's pretty like obvious it's happening. And what happens is if when you keep people away from people, we are inherently better when we're just around people, right? Our energy. So think about it. You go out with I'll go out with my friends or something. You go out, you have fun, just laughing, not like at a club or something, just like restaurant, you're laughing, cracking jokes. You're just like perfect example. When I was in Jersey, went to meet up with my friends I haven't seen in years, right? But we're in a group chat, right? Uh, we were there for 3, 4 hours, just at the table, dinner, laughing, making fun of each other, right? Went home, I just felt better. Like I just, you have that feeling. You just feel like, oh man, I can't wait to tell someone how much fun we had and what we talked about. But when you're just by yourself, like you just feel
100%, dude. Especially when you're with guys. So when you're with the guys, it almost resets your like,
pumps you up.
yeah. It makes you feel like you're a part of a community. Obviously, when you're with a girl, it's something else. Like there's a little bit more like chemically happening within you.
Yeah.
But when you're
Or
with
if when the
guys,
girls get together, same thing. The girls get together, the guys get together. When you're just with your crew,
right, your community, you're with your immediate community. Like that sense of like I belong somewhere. We went out for drinks on Sunday. It's been 2 Sundays back to back that we like. Imagine this is what I've been doing to combat my couple of years or 3 years of just isolation. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. Like, I had a girlfriend at one point, like last year, but even then, it was still very, very. It
you
just
guys.
and there was nothing to do. There was nothing. Everything was shut down. So, to combat this, Sunday night, we went out for drinks. And by the way, Saturday was a snowstorm, or else I would have tried to gone out on Saturday. If you know me, I'm usually just count me out after work for anything. I'm just too fucking exhausted. But
Yeah.
now I'm all about like trying to like catch up on the amount of life that I've actually missed. Um, Sunday night we were out. Monday morning went to the gym bright ass early with Rafi, trying to incorporate like a different. I have different crews that
Different things.
I lift with. Yeah. Um, Randomly throughout the week, I'll scatter in, a night where I'm again with the guys. This whole hinge thing, trying to get some more of those going. But I'm doing whatever I can to bring back any feeling of normal. You don't feel it as much, bro, because you got your family, you got enough distractions throughout the day that'll keep you sort of like, I guess, neutral.
Sometimes I need to like get out and be more distracted,
Do
right?
you?
Because me, inherently, I'm just a homebody. I like to work. I don't like to do much, right? Um, and I've converted Betty to that. Betty was more outgoing, right? So now Betty just too. That's why I like going to like, I have season tickets to the Suns. I like going to the Suns game with my friends. It just gets me out into an environment with people and just watching basketball. So it's just like, because like now, like we go to like parties, right? And everyone's got the kids, the kids, right? And it's fucking annoying, man. You're there and you're talking to parents. So how many times a day is your kid pooping? It's just, oh, when's he sleeping? How's he sleep? Well, how's she sleep? Just stupid conversations, bro. Just wait till you're a dad. It's just, oh, wow, your kid's already sleeping an hour. Oh, amazing. Great. Awesome. You're just like, fuck me, man. To talk to my friends. Like, so it's like, I need to be, or you need to be around your crew, like you said, and just, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just,
No. I knew where you. I have a gut feeling that you basically you don't have the problem right now. You're not missing anything.
no.
You're just not. Your distractions or like your priorities have changed, so that yeah, you have plenty of stuff to focus your attention on that's considered serious, but there's no major enjoyment like there was like back in the day. The enjoyment is coming from your kid, basically. Like you're not out there at the parties, you're not fucking popping bottles, you're just changing diapers and making sure the lion doesn't eat a zebra.
So yeah, I mean, to bring it back full circle, it's like, I think it's resetting, right? And trying to like, okay, the phone is the biggest distraction, but it's also the biggest tool to get you wherever you need to, right? So you were mentioning leaving your phone home, right? That may be extreme, right? For me, I can't, right? Because I have clients hitting me up. You got to be blah, 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 right? But it could be on a Sunday. I could set my Sundays up where I don't need my phone. I could just not pay attention to it. So like it's setting yourself up. So what I've done is I've deleted Facebook and Instagram, right? So like I delete it, I download it. I delete it, I download it, right? So what I do is Instagram and Facebook, I'll delete it. If I'm going to post something, I'll download it, check what I got to check, comments, replies, blah, 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 delete it again.
I see.
Right. I did that for like 6 months. Then it got annoying. And then like I forgot my password. I didn't have like the remember me. And I was like, fuck. And it just kind of messed it up. It was just a whole issue. So now what I do is I change where the apps are. Try doing that on anything that you really go to a lot, change where they are, because your mind just, when you open your phone, you're going to go straight to the thing you always go to. Now, when you change where they are on different pages, you go to the next, you're just like, oh, I actually didn't need to go on Instagram right now.
Right. When you add the additional step, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. So little things like that, I think, help that I've been doing. And I think what I want to do is take a day once a week or 4 hours and just leave the phone and just either just go sit at a coffee shop, just fucking read, or just watch people, just relax.
Do you think that we've become really, really bad at doing things now? Like getting into, like they were talking about the flow state and how long it usually takes somebody to get back into a state of concentration after they've broken it. They said like it takes like 30 minutes or something like that to get back in.
It's insane that. And can you explain that a little bit so people know what we're talking about?
Yeah. So basically, they discuss this idea, this concept of flow, where you're able to just, without distraction, start doing work, and when you break that, that feeling or being that you're in concentration, when you break that, it takes you about 20 or 30 minutes to get back into that state of flow. So the fact that we're constantly being distracted, I mean, really points to the fact that we're not really able to fully concentrate and give, 100% of whatever actual brain power that we have available to us. And when we do give it, there's something nagging at us constantly. I'm guilty of this. I don't know if I'm guilty or if I'm a victim of it. Like almost like I didn't ask for this shit. It just like this is how I had to build 2 businesses, 3 businesses from using my phone, and however people were gonna dude, I remember my first iPhone. And this is like after I had an Android. I'm talking like Instagram came out, and that was my first iPhone, and all of a sudden we're opening up Ani, and it was just like this whole world, like 2012 or whatever. Instagram just came out, my first iPhone, Ani, shit just started happening. Like everything for me was like this whole new world of sharing so much that actually helped us, and I've gotten so used to that. But now it's like, dude, what am I competing with? It's like I'll put up something now and it's just like stupid, it's pathetic compared to the shit that you'll see on your feed right after you see mine. It's like, you want to see something?
Oh, cool, a chicken sandwich, thanks Adi, great.
Right after that, some Turks doing 10,000 chicken sandwiches. Just it's like, oh, it had to be a fucking Turk too, huh? Like, great.
Your chicken sandwiches are legit, though. So it's been interesting, man, because it's a super interesting thing once you start noticing that, like, wow, I'm fucking addicted to my phone, right? Betty is great. Betty's great with it, right? She's never in. It's always been like this with her when we were first dating and it was long distance, right? And she'd be like, oh, I went to the mall with my mom. I forgot my phone at home. I'm like, what do you mean you forgot your phone at home? Like,
how do you forget your phone at home?
And like, just like, I forgot, like, still to this day, like, she'll just leave her phone my mom would be calling her, like, And my mom calls me, I've been calling Betty. What's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Like, she's fucking just laying on the couch. Like, she's fine. So
I
Betty
don't know how
just
they have
does,
that.
Betty's not attached to her phone at all. Like, she barely looks at it. Notifications, she doesn't even care. So weird. I don't know how she does it.
Do you think that it just didn't? The phone never gave her that information that she actually needed, or like that it never really fed her that content that she actually gave a shit about.
I guess, man. I mean, she has her moments here and there, but like it's not like us normal 2,500 times a day type shit.
That's insane. I wonder how dirty my actual like my phone is. Um, so yeah, I don't know, man. There's got to be an alternative to this. Like, maybe considering the fact that so much can be done with your phone. It's not like, all right, leave it at home just because you don't want to check Instagram. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about Instagram. I'm not talking about Facebook. There's literally like 20 different apps. I have my podcast, I have my audiobooks. I'm checking the YouTube studio, basically the creator studio, to see
Back and
how
yeah.
my channel's doing. There's just so much
I
information.
can't use my car without this.
That see like
This is like my everything. My wallet, like paying stuff. I use this. Like,
so it's something that I want to consider maybe removing from my life, my day to day. Yeah, coming back home at nighttime, sort of getting like a recap of what happened, but just getting like a flip phone, Motorola Razr to
I'll be
handle.
sick.
I don't know yet.
You can't even do group text messages on that thing because it's
Pathetic.
just phone calls. Like, if you need me, call me. No one's gonna
Yeah,
call you.
nobody's. I'll be even worse than I was now.
That's not a bad idea. Just get a Motorola flip phone and
I
just,
mean, if you're looking to become antisocial, then I guess that's probably the way to do it.
or more social because you'll have more time to be talking to people outside.
That might work in Arizona, but unfortunately, that shit ain't working in Boston.
Yeah.
Literally, nobody is on the street, and nobody is on just walking around. Plus, it's cold, so like,
Yeah, it's snowing, cold. Yeah, it's the worst time. Now today was 60. Everyone's fucking freezing and wearing jackets.
meanwhile,
Um,
60 here would be like, oh, put on your shorts.
let's go to the beach.
It's a beach day today.
So, what's your final thoughts, man? I think this has been interesting.
I truly and honestly just I think that phones are in fact fucking us. Um, and it has definitely gotten in the way of my productivity. The beauty of it is though, if I'm just focusing on trying to get one thing done and my phone is next to me, it's very, very easy to just put the phone kind of far away, get what I need to get done, and keep going. But if I got multiple things going on and um, people are trying to talk to me, forget it. There's nothing productive happening. I don't know what you think, Sean, but honestly, it's from a productivity standpoint, that flow, that flow is achieved by just no disruptions whatsoever, no disruptions.
Yeah, you got to be super. If you got a big, so my takeaway thing is two things. One, try to take a break. Be conscious of the 2,500 times we touch our phone. It's insane to me, that thought. Um, and secondly, that flow state. Like, if you have an important thing, try to get all distractions out before you get into that flow state. Because, like, yeah, I'll be in the office. I'm fucking getting after it. So, hey, man, like, what's going on?
Yeah, who do you got for fantasy? What happened in fantasy?
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, let me check.
yeah, let me check, and you're done. Yeah, like 5 minutes left, and now that 5 minute task takes an hour. So these are things that I'm going to start paying attention to more, man, because that's insane. But yeah, I think this is a good conversation. Um, definitely, hopefully, you guys are being distracted by this podcast.
Fucked. I'm telling you, it's fucked. Like we have a podcast. We are now trying to. Anyway,
Get attention. Yeah.
yeah. So, all right. Good night, Shant.
That's all I got. Good night, everyone.